This edition of the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books, where remembering is the key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so at yours. And who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs? The holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance that makes you laugh and cry all at the same time? Whatever gift of Grandma's recipes, or just because, those smiles and tears will melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethissphotobooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books, bringing your memories back to life. They're whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show. It's time to give a shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mian Mosen Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, then you'll love Missing by Mian Mosen Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. It takes place in 4 countries with 2 strangers and 1 target where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing by Mian Mosen Zia has garnered great reviews and is even loved by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today. Order Missing by Mian Mosen Zia, now available at Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartradio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mian Mosen Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mian Mosen Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those who love be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mian Mosen Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mian Mosen Zia, available on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books. Remembering is the key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at a wedding, and even more so at yours. And who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs, huh? Well, the holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance makes you laugh and cry at the same time? Whatever gift for Grandma's recipes or just because, including those meatballs, those smiles and tears will just melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw, Picture This Photo Books at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethissphotobooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books. Bring your memories back to life. The whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show on over 30 podcast platforms and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Check us out on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple Music, and more. Take us with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And check out the Mike Wagner Show merchandise at the MikeWagnerShow.com. Also on Amazon.com. At the Mike Wagner Show podcast, t-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, throw pillows, tote bags, and more. Makes great gifts year-round, 24/7, 365 for loved ones and more. Also, check out the Mian Mosen Zia store on Amazon for great books like Missing, Once and Wrinkles. Also, t-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, throw pillows, a lot of great goodies. Check out Amazon.com/Mian Mosen Zia. Also, support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, as well as PayPal and Also, the MikeWagnerShow.com. Make sure you give generously today. We're here with a terrific gentleman who's backed by popular demand, and he's an award-winning actor, director, and producer, a native of Southwest Virginia. We had him on before with Ladies Most Eject. He was also in Where I'm From, Drive-Through Delegate, and he's was featured, we talked about in Sophocles' Electra in Greece, involved in Suddenly Last Summer, Madam Butterfly, and more. He also taught at University of Virginia's College at Wise and College of the Canyons in California. And he also launched a production company back in 2015 with Appalachia Right At You. He also did some, children's work as well, too. And talk about a brand new project, which is Theater for Seniors. We'll talk about that. In the meantime, live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios somewhere in the United States. And of course, we have the very multi-talented, award-winning actor, director, and producer from Ladies Most Eject. He's got the new project, newstages.org. Ladies and gentlemen, the very multi-talented and backed by popular demand, Mark Salyer. Mark, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us once again.
Yeah, absolutely. Good afternoon to you. It's great to be back here. And hey, I love all your sponsors. You have really cool, interesting sponsors. That book seems really awesome.
Well, it does, too. And in fact, if you go to Amazon.com/MeandMolsonZia, that's, of course, after the interview, you can check him out. You can buy his books. You can buy his merchandise and everything. And, of course, he'll love you for it as well, too. And if you do buy it, make sure you tell us about it, especially him. Otherwise, I want to hear the end of it.
I love it. I love it. A happy sponsor is a good sponsor, right?
Yes, that's right. And, of course, great guests like you as well, too. We talked about Ladies Most Eject. You also were in Where I'm From, Drive-Through Delegate. And you also got your new project called newstages.org. And before we talk about your new project, once again, just quickly tell us how it got started.
Yeah, well, I'm originally from a tiny, tiny little town in the mountains of Virginia, in the Appalachian Mountains. And I grew up just loving stories. My grandparents used to tell stories. That's sort of what people did for fun back then, is tell stories and make music. And so for me, it kind of was a natural step to go into working in storytelling of some sort. Of course, I worked in professional theater for many, many years and traveled all over the country, doing shows and directing and producing. And the last several years, I've been sort of very much interested in creating media that really reflects the Appalachian Mountains and their culture, but moreover, just is all about storytelling. Again, it's kind of what I grew up with. And so for me, it made sense to pursue acting first and then directing. And it's always fascinating to me. Everybody loves a good story, and we all have a story. And I think it's very interesting. Sometimes I'll hear someone say, "Oh, I have the most uninteresting story," and I'm like, "Oh, really? Well, tell me a little about yourself." I had a student a while back say, "Oh, yeah, I used to march in the East Village with all of these Arlo Guthrie people." I'm like, yeah, you seem like you don't really have any interesting stories at all. You poor thing. So, it's really fascinating to me that we all do have a story. And that's kind of where Newstages was born.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you also have been involved with Ladies Most Eject, and we had you on the show about that. And once again, quickly tell us about Ladies Most Eject.
Yes, that was a real labor of love for myself, for my producing partner, for my writing partner, and for our director, Marty Elkin. We all were sort of returning to Appalachia to tell a story that was really both heartbreaking and also, I think, very inspired and inspirational. It's all about a young teenage girl who ultimately has to protect her siblings from a mom who had started with OxyContin and some of the other opioid type drugs and moved into much harder things and was actually putting her family in danger. And the story really came about because we had read an article about how a lot of teachers in the region had become almost like social workers. They really had to come in and take care of kids in a really meaningful and profound way in schools themselves. And so we decided to write a story where a teacher really makes a difference in this young person's life and in all of these young people's lives. And we were really proud of it. We luckily, got in just right before COVID. Thank goodness, because almost all of our festivals were finished by the time COVID started. In fact, the weekend that COVID began, we were at Idlewild, at the Idlewild Film Festival. And it was very interesting because we ended up needing to quarantine because everyone we were with, there are people from all over the world. There was an international film festival. So, everybody was kind of a little bit trepidatious about being there, but it was right before everything had shut down. And I think people really wanted to just see their films through. And it was a really good experience. We won the audience choice there. And our ensemble won Best Ensemble, which I thought was really kind of a nice closing honor when we left the film festival circuit.
Oh my gosh, that is so amazing. Where can we find Ladies Most Deject at?
You can actually, the trailer is online on our website, which is ladiesmostdeject.com. The quote itself is from a line in Hamlet that Ophelia says. And so it's not surprising in a way that it has a little theater interest in it as well, since that's sort of my background. But yes, you can see the trailer there. And currently the piece itself, we are actually developing it for a really interesting program that will help educators and be sort of almost a training tool to help educators as they deal with these types of issues of children of parents who are suffering from addiction in their schools. So that's going to be kind of an interesting twist. We never would have thought of it as an educational tool, but we've been approached by several folks to talk about using it in that capacity. And that would actually make us really happy because it is a story that's close to our heart, given the fact that our area had such a major issue with opioid addiction over the course of the past 15 years.
And of course, talk about the schools as well, too. And do you think, especially with COVID shutting down the school system and everything, do you think the use has pretty much gone up like during the pandemic where homeschooling is like being forced at that level or something? Or is it where it's like, I'm just trying to think here. It's like it was.
No, absolutely. It's interesting because one of the things that some of the teachers that we had originally interviewed when we were writing the script, we touched base with them to just see how they were doing throughout this whole COVID experience. And the big concern was that kids were sitting at home all day long where they already, in some cases, don't feel safe. And so school for them represents a lot more than just coming and learning. It's a place where there's consistent food. It's a place where there's consistent safety. And so that was a real concern in a lot of those places where, where there is a high number of parents who are suffering from addiction. So yeah, that was an interesting part of the twist, is that we didn't think about that, but the kids themselves expressed that they felt less safe in that environment.
Mm-hmm. And of course, too, that with the whole issue of COVID as well, too, and it just got in, right before COVID struck, and it was perfect timing. And what are some of the other things you've also done during the COVID besides getting a newstages.org going?
Well, it has been a great time to be working on Newstages, but our production company, which is fairly small, we're called Array Productions, and it stands for Appalachia Right Atcha. Like Appalachia in your face. But we have two projects that we're developing right now. One is our first feature film, which is a horror, sort of a conceptual horror piece, and we're very excited about it. In fact, we're sort of finishing up the script right now and really hope to start putting it out there to see if we can find the perfect director for it. That ideally would shoot sometime in 2022. And so that's been fun to work on in this sort of, downtime of being at home with COVID. But we also had started a documentary called The Mysteries of Appalachia. And it really deals a lot with how the mountain people have a lot of superstitions and a lot of tales and even a lot of the spirituality of the mountain tradition is kind of mystical in a way, because it comes from a sort of collision of cultures, the Irish Celtic world and the Cherokee Indians and African Americans who came to the area. So all of these cultures kind of combined and there became a lot of just a very interesting mysticism. And I always found it really interesting. Like, for instance, my grandmother was able to blow in a baby's mouth who had thrush, and the baby would be cured. And that was because she had never seen her father. And I didn't believe it, of course, because I was a little skeptical child. But I saw her do it, and the baby was cured. And it was this insane, bizarre, wonderful kind of mountain superstition, I thought. But it seemed to me that it was almost like this really cool, mystical ability of people who are coming from all of these different cultures. So that project. We were able to pick that up again during COVID, because a lot of the parts of it that we haven't shot yet, we needed to do some background research. And so that one is going to be a feature-length documentary. And I feel like it's going to be really interesting. We have a lot of interest overseas, actually. People who sort of were mesmerized by the Appalachian Mountains, and because they are sort of one of the only places left in America that's, not completely known about or discovered on some levels. It's still a very isolated region.
Mm-hmm. That is something as well, too. And we'll also talk more about newsstages.org and what they're featuring, offering, and, some other things, how to get in. We'll talk about just a minute. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. It's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention The Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international war-ring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love will go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes, Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mia Molson-Zia. Available on Amazon. Also, The Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books. Remembering is a key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at a wedding, and even more so at yours. And who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs, huh? Well, the holidays are coming. What better time? Give a gift for remembrance that makes you laugh and cry at the same time. What if a gift for Grandma's recipes, or just because those smiles and tears will just melt your heart? Call Karen Shaw, Picture This Photo Books at 646-798-0809, or visit picturethisphotoBooks.com. Mention The Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books. Bring your memories back to life. The whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you. Also, check out The Mike Wagner Show on over 30 podcast platforms and themikewagnershow.com. Take us with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter today at The Mike Wagner Show. Check out merchandise at themikewagnershow.com and also on Amazon as well, too. Amazon.com at The Mike Wagner Show Podcast. And for more great gift ideas, check out Mia Molson-Zia's books like Missing, Once and Wrinkles at Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Also t-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, a lot of cool merchandise. Check it out today. And also support us on Anchor FM as well as PayPal and themikewagnershow.com. Make sure you donate generously today. We're here with the multi-talented, award-winning actor, director, and producer. He was on previously with Ladies Most Eject on the Mike Wagner Show, Mark Salyer, and great to have him back as well too. And it's been about a couple years, and luckily caught him at the time before COVID hit. And newstages.org and is a theater company for seniors. It's not just a theater company; also offer classes, training and just about everything under the sun.
Yeah, it's kind of a wonderful thing that came about in my life. It started about 10 years ago with a group that came to Los Angeles. It was Stagebridge from Oakland, and a man named Bruce Bierman brought Stagebridge down to LA and needed some help with grant writing and teaching and just basic, sort of general management, producerial kinds of stuff. And I got involved and really just sort of fell in love with it. And when Bruce had to go back to San Francisco, and when he left, I was like, I'm going to continue this. And so we started Newsstages as the continuation of Stagebridge, which is at this point I think it's the country's largest senior theater company.
Oh, wow.
So Newsstages has been just a joy. I mentioned earlier that I loved to sit and listen to my grandparents tell stories. And they could tell them like 25 times. Everybody else in the family, they knew how to clear a room. But for me, I was like, no, I want to hear it again, So it's interesting that at this point in my life, I'm actually doing something and working so directly with seniors. The interesting thing of during COVID, so each year we've been doing a show for Los Angeles Pride with the LA LGBT Center and the City of West Hollywood. And we're part of the City of West Hollywood's One City, One Pride Arts Festival. And we've been doing that for 10 years. Well, this last year, of course, with COVID, we were like, oh my gosh, like how are we can't do that. I mean, seniors are the most vulnerable people, really. So we decided to really go it virtually. We decided to go online and see what would happen. And I, will tell you that there was definitely a learning curve, and we definitely had a lot of sort of training to do about how to work with Zoom and how to record yourself and how to, there's a whole process of doing a virtual choir. One of our pieces was a choir piece. And so we had every single person recording their own voice, but not hearing the music. They were hearing it through their ear pod, and they were having to watch the conductor visual. Like, it was pretty crazy what we were asking them to do, but they did it. They totally did it. In fact, I now have students who 100% are addicted to Zoom classes, and it's really opened the doors for them. It's opened up some new avenues of connecting with people that they've not had, really, especially people who are, don't have the same mobility issues, or people who just don't like to drive in Los Angeles anymore, which PS includes me. It's the worst place to drive. So it's kind of been great. We've really taken the opportunity this year to expand our programming. Since COVID began, we've done 3 shows, and then we've done a series of classes and workshops. A lot of them are sort of lecture based. I did a great piece about Tennessee Williams and his life and work. It was very successful. Each of the students also did a piece or did a reading from one of Tennessee Williams' plays. We did a piece about the Broadway composer Stephen Sondheim, who wrote Into the Woods and Sweeney Todd and Sunday in the Park with George. And we went through his life and also just explored some of the work, and some of the peeps got to work on a piece from one of Sondheim's musicals. So I'm really excited about the next incarnation. I mean, I really feel like this is a very good time to be connecting seniors with each other, and also connecting them with their creative lives, with their creative selves, because creativity, art really heals us. Art brings us together. Art helps us understand each other and the world around us. And if there was ever a time that we needed that understanding, and we needed that connection, it's right now.
Mm-hmm. And how does one enroll for classes with newstages.org?
Well, it's really pretty simple. Basically, our website is newstages.org, as you said. And every time there's a new class or a new program that's starting, there is an announcement on that particular site on our blog. We also do a lot of advertising and publicity all around the country, because now that we're on Zoom, we don't have to be just based in Los Angeles. We can actually bring in students from all sorts of places.
Oh, wow.
So we still hope to be able to do some in-person classes in Los Angeles, because I think that's always wonderful. But I will, from now on, always have some sort of digital component, because it really has opened doors for people who just have never been able to participate before. And also, I love this idea of us suddenly doing a class with someone who's in Hawaii or New York City or wherever. So it's very easy there are always announcements on new classes that are coming up. And it's as easy as just shooting us an email or signing up through our contact page on their website to sign up for the classes themselves.
And once again, how do they contact you?
Our website is Newstages, www.newstages.org. And it is very simple, easy to navigate website. You can also see some videos of some of our performances and some of the things that we've done in the past year. We had this great show for New Year's Eve, because we decided that we really needed to, of all the years, we needed to roast 2020. And so
we roast like Dean Martin.
I know, we did like a Dean Martin roast of 2020, and it was great. They had all of these fantastic stories and one-liners, and we did a parody version of the 12 Days of Christmas called the 12 Days of COVID, and it was really, really awesome.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Wish I would have been there. And what's coming up for Mark Salyer and along his projects, we'll find out just 1 minute. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for your needs. Also brought to you by official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Molson's of Missing, available on Amazon and paperback, and by Picture This Photo Books. Remembering is a key ingredient. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethissphotobooks.com. We'll be back with award-winning actor, director, and producer of newstages.org, Mark Salyer, after this time. This edition of The Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books, where remembering is the key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so at yours. And who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs? The holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance that makes you laugh and cry all at the same time? Whatever gift of Grandma's recipes, or just because, those smiles and tears will melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethissphotobooks.com. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books, bringing your memories back to life. They're whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey, this is Ray Powers. And if there's one thing you can count on in these unpredictable times, it's that you're in good hands getting some great radio, courtesy of The Mike Wagner Show.
That's okay, I'm not looking to rain.
We're back with award-winning actor, director, and producer Mark Salyer on The Mike Wagner Show. It's great to have you back again, Mark. Talking about newstages.org and also recapping Ladies Most Eject. And what else can we expect from you in 2021 and beyond, Mark?
Well, we are really hoping to begin producing some larger shows with Newstages even if they are online, we found some really cool, interesting ways to create some art with people in this virtual world. Our virtual choir itself is actually really, it's incredibly meaningful, just to see people be able to, in the privacy of their own home, they're singing and participating in something that normally is a communal experience. And so we really want to focus a little bit on some of the music, just because I think it's a really, it's a beautiful thing to still be able to connect in that sort of way musically. And, they say that when you sing in a choir, it's very healthy, both mentally, but also physically. There's something about the idea of singing music together that people find, it releases a lot of great chemicals, a lot of the feel-good chemicals in our bodies, and which basically just helps our health, So that's the interesting byproduct of doing a theater company with seniors, is that I do think that there are a lot of health benefits from it. And the more that we study creativity and the more that we look at what just the connecting part, but the art itself does to sort of keep us alive and keep us motivated and having that sort of project that you're always working on. And the people I work with are fierce and ferocious. They want to do more than what I can do, because they have a lot more energy than I do. They're always writing new things or bringing a new idea in or coming up with something wonderful. Like I had one class last year that was really just like, let's talk about everything that's happened in your lives. And it was so awesome because, we sort of started with World War II, because I'd had a student who had talked about the period in World War II history where if you lived on the coast, you had to black out your curtains. You had to black out your windows.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And you had a warden in your building, and the warden he enforced or she enforced that blacking out your windows. And if you didn't black out your windows, they'd come and knock on your door, and I don't know what they would do. I'd come in and black them out for you or something. I don't know. But
or put some black paint on or something. So.
Well, the whole concept was, they were trying to make sure that if there were ships that were off the coasts, that they wouldn't have targets, that they wouldn't have nighttime targets. I suppose that was the whole concept. But that was fascinating. I did not know that situation at all. And it was a wonderful story that came out. So we went through the whole of really the 20th century and moving into, our century, and just listen to stories about each of those moments. And people wrote some really, really provocative, interesting pieces. There were a couple great pieces about the day that Roosevelt died and the day that Kennedy died. There were some really interesting pieces about the Cuban Missile Crisis and the fear of what that was about, and how people were able, what people were thinking. They were thinking it was going to be the end of the world, So, people who are older have a perspective that we sometimes forget about, I think, in our culture. We have a thing about seniors sometimes where we sort of dismiss them and say, oh, well, maybe they can just do bingo or arts and crafts. Now, let me tell you, I do like some bingo, especially if they're good prizes. However, this is not what we're doing. We're really trying to sort of get in there and understand the people themselves and give them value and worth, and make sure that their stories are heard and preserved in whatever ways that we can. So it's been really, really exciting, and we're excited to be working with them. We would ideally at some point love to do a documentary about our project, just because there's so many moments that come up in the development and the rehearsal process where, we're just bowled over by, again, somebody's incredible story of a moment in their lives. And their lives, maybe they don't think that they're all that interesting, but they are.
Mm-hmm. And it does sound fascinating. And I did not know the fact that you had to black out your windows if you live in a certain part of the United States. I was not aware of that. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
I learn something new every day.
I know. Well, I love, there was another great story about how a bunch of folks who lived through World War II all remembered taking their chewing gum wrappers and peeling off the aluminum part. And the aluminum part would go into a big ball, and you'd create a ball, and you would take the ball to the war effort, because aluminum was really scarce. And they would take the aluminum because it helped them to make all sorts of different military types of equipment and planes and everything. So I was like, that's kind of amazing. People, I would never have known that, that aluminum was scarce and people were peeling their chewing gum wrappers off.
Oh my gosh. I never thought about that either. And I was so accustomed to buying bubble gum. It was just a little plastic square, or, Wrigley's gum, it's like it was aluminum. You never even thought of that. When I thought of saving aluminum, it's like, Reynolds wrap. You wrap up some in an oven, and it's like, you don't throw away, wrapping paper, aluminum, save the wrapping paper and all that. But, chewing gum, aluminum, oh, you learn something new every day. Let's pick some up.
I mean, I guess the heart of it all is that, and I guess the reason a lot of this came up in this past year was just sacrifice, and how many sacrifices so many people made by going, people who went to war. I mean, I lost both of my great-grandfather and my grandfather to war. My great-grandfather died in World War I, and my grandfather died in World War II.
Wow.
And so, and we don't think about those sacrifices now. We don't have as many sacrifices. And I think that was part of where some of these stories came from, is just, wow, it's an interesting thing how people really used to come together for whenever there was any sort of crisis, and everybody fought it together, which was kind of lovely. It's kind of what came out of that class.
Mm-hmm. And of course, that is so amazing as well, too. And besides newstages.org, where can we find your works and your website? How people get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can also check out my production company is called Appalachia, .com. And if you go to appalachia.com, you'll see some of the projects that we've worked on in the past, and what some of the things that we're actually sort of developing right now. And you can also just look for me at marksalyer.com. There's a lot of information of different freelance projects that I've done throughout the years. I'm literally, people sometimes are like, how is it that you've done as many jobs as you have? And I'm like, because I'm a freelance person, and that's what we do. We take every job. We don't really care what it is. We just take it. But I mean, it is true. We were talking recently about just, what it means to be an artist these days. And you really have to have this sort of diversified background. You really have to be able to pick up the reins and become a producer. You really have to be able to write some of your own work. You have to be able to know, directing wise, what's happening in terms of the camera, in terms of telling the story in that way. So it's kind of been a great career. I'm 54 years old. I'm sure that I'll have another good 20 years of crazy, wonderful adventures. And at the end of it all, people will just say, wow, you did a lot of different things in your life. I remember that song, I've been a butcher, a baker, a blah, blah, blah.
Oh, that's live. Frank Sinatra. That's live. That's what people say. I'm ready to sing some old Blue Eyes after
I know. Right.
And I did it my way.
They'll probably also say that about me.
Well, I can imagine this. Mark Salyer singing Frank Sinatra, getting somebody from newstages.org to sing Frank Sinatra. I think we just came up with a great idea.
I know, right? An evening of Frank Sinatra with the New Stages cast. I love it.
Oh, there you go. We'll talk more about that. Once again, Mark Salyer of newstages.org here on the Mike Wagner Show. Mark, it's always great to have you on. Looking forward to having you again soon. A big thank you for your time. You've been amazing. And look forward to having you on. Keep in touch. And we wish you definitely all the best. We look forward to having you on again very, very soon.
Thank you, sir. Great to be here.
Picture this photo books, where remembering is the key ingredient. Preserving memories, keeping the memories of your loved ones alive as they reach in and touch your heart. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding. and even more so at yours. The holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance that makes you laugh and cry all at the same time? Whether it's a gift of past holidays, grandma's recipes, long ago moments, or just because, those smiles and tears will melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809. Once again, that's 646-798-0809. Or visit picturethisphotoBooks.com.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing. Available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, Custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartradio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.